Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first webinar for 2021. So we're just waiting for all participants to come in to the webinar. So we'll just give it about 5 minutes for full attendance. Now, in the meantime, so we will be launching, a very quick pre-poll for those of you who are already here to, participate. So maybe in about a minute or so, we'll release a poll. And yeah, in the meantime, sit back, relax, get a coffee. It's 5 p.m. wind down. Hi. So welcome to all the newcomers. Just want to let you guys know that we are waiting another 5 minutes for everyone to get in. And there is a poll that we have already launched. And so if you could just have a look and maybe cast your vote. It's a pre-talk poll. Could be fun. So we'll just give it another 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 more minutes. Thank you. Hi. Hi, everyone. So it's already 5 minutes past. And so welcome, everyone, to our first talk of 2021. So we have a poll that we have already launched. I hope everyone has already cast their votes. We will be ending the poll now. And yeah, so before we get stuck into it. Okay. So the poll was, why did we decide to attend this event? Everyone is wanting to learn something new. I hope you all can take away, have a nice message to take away at the end of this. So first and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sherilyn. I'm based here in our HReasily headquarters in Singapore, and I'll be your panel moderator today. We have with us 3 companies today, Osome, Aspire, and HReasily, and all of which represent different stages in the life cycle of being a business in this digital age. So all 3 companies are, digitalized in very, very traditional industries. And we just thought, right, we are at the start of a brand new year with new challenges for everyone. And with the way the world is shaping up to be, Singapore is looking to be the new focus for businesses to set down roots. So we thought it'd be quite cool to kickstart our first webinar with some local intel and insights from our panelists. So just want to let you guys know the Q&A section is open for anyone to ask questions at any point, and I'll try to incorporate as many as I can throughout. And yeah, we'll try to get through all of them before the end of the session. Okay, so I was thinking, let's start with the introduction. So we have our Singapore-based digital business assistant, Osome. They represent, the section of the market where business would definitely have its start. So we have Adam. If you could tell us a little bit more about yourself and Osome and what you do.
Hello, everybody. So, yeah, my name's Adam, as you can tell from here. So I head a partnerships team here in Osome. Basically, Osome is a one-stop solution, and we provide, incorporation, corporate secretarial, accounting, tax, payroll services in Singapore and in Hong Kong and UK as well. And currently, we serve more than 5,000 clients. And our platform actually uses AI and robots to automate the routine. And our focus is a lot on this automation, right? Especially for corporate secretarial services and accounting, so that our accountants and secretaries can handle more complex tasks and basically provide a greater user experience at a reasonable price as well. And well, thanks for the invitation as well.
Thank you. Really good to have you here. So, and next up we have Jacob from Aspire, Southeast Asia's leading business neobank.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction. I'm Jacob. I'm the regional head of commercial of Aspire. As you said, Aspire is a neobank. We're around for about 3 years right now. We're present in Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Actually, my CEO, he was one of the founders of Lazada, and then he realized that one of the biggest problems for those online sellers was access to capital. So initially, Aspire actually focused on financing solutions, on lending, but then we realized there was also maybe even bigger opportunity in the market, because we realized that there's a lot of these modern entrepreneurs, startups, digital companies that weren't really satisfied with traditional banking solutions. We realized like traditional banking was slow. It takes a lot of time to open an account. You need to be in Singapore. There's a lot of hidden fees. It wasn't a very easy experience, and that's why we actually, since about 1 year, we launched our neobank product here in Singapore. So basically, young modern companies, they can simply open an Aspire business account from anywhere in the world. It's super easy, and we have a lot of interesting features coming up.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, nowadays that's what everything is, right? You can do business from anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, that's what you're all about. So up third on the panel is HReasily, cloud-based HR software. We have Lewis with us. If you could tell us a little bit more about HReasily and yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Lewis. I'm a strategic partnership manager for HReasily here in Singapore. A little bit about HReasily is that basically what we aim to provide is a holistic integrated solution to automate your HR workflows, things like your payroll, your leave management, expense claims, time attendance. We're localized in 8 countries throughout Southeast Asia, meaning that we are compliant to tax and labor laws. And we have the pleasure of working with a number of great partners in the region to bring our services as well as their services to our customers. So very happy to be here.
Yes. Thank you very much, all three. So just before we launch into the actual talk, I thought we'd just launch our second poll so that we have time to get the results in. So if everyone could just, cast your vote while we have a chat. So the clientele of all three of our panelists, we have a huge range of businesses, right? From early stage startups, sole proprietors, all the way to mature businesses. And as I said, I thought all three represented, the different stages from starting a business to keeping it running and growth and maturity in HR processes and payroll. So I thought we would, from initial observations in the news, so far we're only in February. Have you guys seen the news? right? 2021 is definitely interesting, right? With COVID still in the background. Remember GameStop, that was last week. And did you guys hear about the news just yesterday with the Google, the co-founder, he's moving his family office to Singapore. So I thought that was interesting. You know, Singapore is becoming a stable base for those looking for an Asian outpost. And yeah, thought if I could get your thoughts on that. Have you guys noticed any changing tides on your end? Have you found there's an increase in business? Like Adam, maybe you could take that first, right? Because your Osome is down, right, with registering the businesses and yeah, holding their hand from start. Have you? Oh, and wait, firstly, congratulations on your latest funding round.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, so speaking about trends, yeah, definitely, you know, we see an increase in businesses moving to Singapore for various reasons, right? It could be, you know, political reasons that's happening outside of Singapore that cause them to favor Singapore over the other countries. And I think not just that, also, you know, COVID has caused some number of professionals who, you know, who has been 20, 30 years in the industry and you know, they suddenly are out of a job. And, you know, what next, right? They have to find a job and it's not easy, you know, at a certain stage in your life to get a new job at this period of time. So rather than pivoting, you know, some of them are thinking, hey, you know, I could jolly well just start my own business here. And hey, you know, and yeah, it could get up and running and everything can be done online, you know, because of COVID or even before that. So yeah, definitely we have seen an increase. But of course, you know, having said that, also there are also businesses, you know, because of this whole situation has been shutting down as well. But I do see a general net increase, you know. So I mean that's I think good news for all of us here in Singapore, you know, who are serving this market.
Yeah, that's I mean that's what we want, right? More businesses opening up, more jobs for everyone. And yourself, no, Jacob, probably you could jump in as well, Aspire as a neobank in a special space.
Yeah, I think I mean definitely Singapore is a very interesting hub to start a business. But I think if we looked at last year and going into this year, you know, with COVID, I think we just saw, you know, an acceleration of digitalization, something that already happened before. Everyone was moving online. I think this just accelerated at the very fast pace. And you know, as Adam mentioned, obviously, like a lot of businesses, you know, they might have been also like forced in becoming more digital. You know, we had traditional businesses that had, you know, multiple stores. They might have closed down some stores, but they focused on e-commerce now. But we also see that there's a lot of new businesses that are being started. And Adam said something right. I think it was never as easy to actually start a business, right? Because nowadays, you know, there's little investment needed, right? You can set up a business, incorporate same day, set up a bank account. You can use Shopify. You have a ready-made e-commerce solution. You pay very little, and you know, you can basically even sell online via drop shipping without holding any inventory. It's never been as easy to start a business. And this gave rise to like a lot of entrepreneurs who are basically, you know, launching their companies. And we've seen this firsthand. And I think it was actually exciting as well.
Like, have you, like you say, you mentioned you've seen it firsthand. Do you have any examples that you have?
So, you know, I'm personally like talking to a lot of customers. And sometimes it's very interesting, right? Because you see a customer that might spend, you know, north of 100,000 Singapore dollar in marketing monthly, right? Like an e-commerce. And then, you know, I'm having a video call with that person and I realize it's an 18-year-old that is basically sitting in his room, living with his parents and managing a big e-commerce business. You know, and that's amazing, right? And or maybe I've spoken to maybe like a housewife that suddenly had an idea and then she started selling online. But at the same time, you know, there's like maybe older people, you know, in their 70s that, you know, that are actually like inquiring and they're saying, hey, I want to know what is this digital bank? I want to be up to date. I also want to go with the time. So definitely been quite a lot of interesting, a lot of
Different
interesting
stories.
development on that side and a lot of movement. And also, I think previously, we've always been thinking about, retail and e-commerce maybe, and nowadays we just realized it's all together. Every company somehow became an online company. Every retailer became an e-commerce company, and I think that has been the case already for a while, but in the last
I think
year,
it's
that
been like
increased.
before, everyone needed to have a brick and mortar type of store, right? Like they needed to have a shop somewhere. Whereas, like you said, an 18-year-old can just sit in his bedroom and just sell something online from the start. And like what Adam said earlier, right? COVID kind of.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Maybe to add one thing is, right, like obviously I think all of our companies, we're somehow, enabling platforms for this, young and digital entrepreneurs. If I look at Osome, obviously it's the cheapest way to incorporate a business, right? Our business account comes with no costs. We're actually having a great collaboration. You can incorporate and open an account the same day for free. And then obviously also, HReasily, it facilitates everything on the HR side. So you don't really need to have a big team in place anymore. There's a lot of these solutions. They're helping young and entrepreneurs, but also startups to operate a lot more efficiently.
That's true. So Louis, right? As a representative of like a more mature business setup, have you observed more companies adopting digital HR?
I think, yeah, absolutely. Because, with obviously with very obvious conditions, COVID last year, and even now with the ease of everyone having access to digital services, we definitely have seen an uptick in a lot of companies needing, an online HR system, right? People working from home. And I think that's still even the case now. A large proportion of companies, a lot of the employees are still working from home. But I think what was a key thing and a key driver for a lot of, I think for HR admins was that, luckily enough here in Singapore, there are a ton of grants to take advantage of, right? And I think, like, for example, the Singapore government, they increased the PhD grant from 70 to 80%, and they extended it till September this year, if I'm not mistaken. So these are all the different types of tools and initiatives that a lot of SMEs are very fortunate in Singapore to take advantage of. And as a result, I think, it has definitely created and generated a lot more interest in HReasily, and I'm sure in other digital services as well. Yeah, definitely. And there are a lot of different trends have also emerged very interestingly. Like for example, a lot of customers they've as a result of being able to use these digital solutions, they've actually started sourcing talent from not just in Singapore but overseas, because everyone is still working from home anyway. So that's definitely something that I've seen emerge as a trend.
And could they use the the HR software to kind of manage their HR offshore in that sense?
Yeah, it's
well.
definitely, yeah, they can. It's definitely possible. Yeah, because let's say for example, if you got someone working in Thailand or even further afield, they can still do all their things on a mobile app, for example. Same way, on a web app. So for sure, definitely.
So from start to finish, right? So we start the company with Osome, we get it funded with Aspire, and then we grow and control our workforce with HReasily from our bed. Like 18-year-old bedroom.
I don't even know what I was doing at 18, like really. The fact that there's some guy out there trying to start his business, right after high school is absolutely phenomenal,
Yeah, it was like Jacob. How much did you say he was doing?
Sorry, what did you say?
How much did you say he was making?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, but as I said, like a significant amount, right? A significant amount. If you spend over $100,000 in marketing monthly, then you can multiply times 4, 5 at least, something like that. Yeah. So it's quite impressive. Yeah. No, definitely. It's quite impressive what the youngsters out there are doing at the very early age already.
Yeah, as you said, it's not too late. We can do it. Guys.
Everyone can do it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's definitely possible. The time is now, and it has never been easier to.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the time is now. It's 2021. It's only February, right? So everyone can start your business this year. So we've just launched the poll. If everyone could just have a look and vote on it. And meanwhile, we will move on to you know, the second part of it, right? So when we mentioned just now, when customers come to you guys, and you know, like for you, Adam, right? When they come to you, why have they chosen our type of business? You know, in the digital age, why have they chosen your type of digital business rather than going to the, you know, the company's secretary or the mom's friend accountant?
Well, I guess there's probably a couple of reasons here, right? Well, first things first is, you know, now that as you know, everyone has mentioned that everybody is based, they could be based anywhere and they could start a company here in Singapore. So the first thing that you do usually is you probably go online and just, you know, try and figure out, oh, who should you be using, right? And because of that, and now that digitalization is the in thing, right? Everybody's, you know, oh, hey, you know, let's all go digital because everything can be done so seamlessly, right? And as Jacob mentioned, you know, you could just incorporate a company, set up a bank account within a day. Yeah, and because of all that and all the perks, you know, that comes along with that, you know, people do tend to then favor a more digital solution because, you know, they don't have to travel, right? For example, in my previous firm, right, we had to, you know, send a client a document. The client to print it out, you know, that means they have to have a printer to begin with. They have to sign, and then they have to scan it. That means that they have the scanner, right? Or maybe take a picture of it using their phone, and then send it back, right? When now everything can be signed, you know, digitally. So there's really no reason to really go to a, you know, a brick and mortar, a more traditional service provider. I wouldn't say that, you know, they are really out of favor, but I would just say that, you know, having digital solutions, you know, having technology is to kind of augment, right, the services that we are providing. I don't believe that, I mean, there will be some form of replacement for sure, but I don't think it will entirely replace that, at least not yet. So which is why, you know, they will tend to favor that. And because, you know, we always believe that, you know, we want to be there always for the entrepreneur, regardless of, you know, the day, the night. So, and I think, you know, if you go to a traditional firm, usually, or maybe 9 to 6, and then after that, the office is closed. But that's not the case for us because we have people around the world serving different clients at different time zones. So
you're open 24/7?
We are open. We are open 24/7. And there is human interaction almost 24/7, Monday to Sunday. But yeah, so and you know.
So if on Sunday at 3 a.m. I want to open a business, I just log on and be like, okay, Osome will help me out.
Yeah, at the beginning of the process, yes, definitely the board will interact with you and ask for, you know, simple questions, information, and documents. But of course, you know, as I said, you know, the technology has to augment. So there are certain questions that, or certain processes that the board cannot take charge of. Then of course human intervention is required. So unfortunately at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, not yet. But you never know, right? But at least the board could at least, you know, get some of the processes done so that the wait time, you know, is a lot lesser as compared to, you know, if it's going to be traditional.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So in a nutshell, it would be convenience and ease, right? That which clients will be looking for to go digital in that sense. And so Jacob, what about you? You know, Aspire is an all-in-one solution as well for businesses. So
maybe to add here, right? I think this is another thing that COVID brought to us, right? It made us all very lazy to go anywhere, right? We all realized that, you know, pre-COVID, maybe it was okay to, you know, go pick up food. It was okay to, you know, to the groceries. It was okay to do a lot of things, you know, maybe go to the bank. Now I'm like, oh, what? Go anywhere? No, it's like, you know, I'm working from home. I'm doing everything from my laptop, and going anywhere is already too much. So I think that's another thing. Like, people expect that everything can be done virtually, and that's something that I think in Singapore was already the case. Singapore was already very advanced, but I think again, you know, during COVID, this is all accelerated, and we are all too lazy to go anywhere.
I mean,
Print out the
2020.
document. I mean, I don't even
Yeah.
know many people who have a printer, right? If I need to print something, I'm already overwhelmed. I need to Google where I need to go and do something, right? It's a challenge. It's a struggle. So we all got very comfortable, I would say. Yeah.
I agree. I'm a slave to my Google, my phone as well.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe also for Aspire, right? Like I think, what we're trying to solve is we realize that I would say traditional banking, and I think traditional banks in Singapore are actually pretty good, but still, they're relatively a little bit, they're slow, I would say, relatively slow. It's sometimes a bit, expensive. There's a lot of fees, and maybe also the solutions are not always relevant for those, new digital companies that we are catering to. And when I say slow, like if you want to open a bank account, and we're working very closely with Osome, they're sending us a lot of leads, a lot of companies, right? And we're working very closely together, and we have to, you can basically, you can be on a beach somewhere, in Italy or wherever. I'm from Italy, that's why I say it, but like and open a business and open like a company, right? Like register a company and open a bank account on the same day. And that's quite amazing, right? So with Aspire, you basically, registration takes 5 minutes, and within 2-3 hours you have your account, you have your account up and running. And this stands in contrast with traditional banks, where it might take like 2-3 weeks, or even longer.
Or you line up, you go and line up with COVID regulations still at the bank.
And obviously, and also Singapore being such a attractive place to open, to open a business for foreigners. Obviously, that also played in our hand, because it's quite difficult for a foreigner not being in Singapore to actually open an account. While again, with us, you can just open it from anywhere in the world, fully remotely and very quickly. Another thing is, there's a lot of like a regular business accounts, right? They have a lot of fees. There's a maintenance fees. There's a fall below fee, and there are fees for making all sort of transfers, and we just try to make them. We basically, there's no fees opening an Aspire account. There's no maintenance fee whatsoever. It's completely free, and then also the actual transfer fees, etc., are very transparent and very low. So we're the most cost efficient solution in Singapore. And then maybe another thing is that we realized that a lot of the products that were offered by the traditional banks, that they were maybe not that relevant to those type of companies. So maybe also the rewards were not that relevant. So at Aspire, for example, when it comes to rewards, we give cashback on Facebook ads, Google ads, or other software providers, because we realize that this type of companies, they're actually spending most of their money on those merchants, while maybe they don't really have other needs, such as like F&B and travel, etc., which is maybe more associated with traditional industries in that sense. Yeah,
that's true. It's very agile, right? I mean, you're able to just
and then I think for us, right, like at the beginning, we mainly focused on regular just doing what banks do, but try to make it a little bit easier and faster and more transparent. And now we're really trying to differentiate ourselves as much as possible, and we're launching new exciting features that are
would you say 2020 was shaping in that regard? Like, did it help to pivot you towards down this new avenue?
Yeah, definitely. I think 2020 was, I mean, obviously, right, there's as tragic as it was or is still, right, for a lot of people and a lot of businesses as well. For us, I think it was that we were maybe one of the companies that in a way maybe even benefited, because obviously in a world where travel is restricted and you can't go anywhere, opening accounts fully remotely and quickly is a big value proposition. So we had a lot
but would you say like the business was headed in one direction at the start of 2020, and then at the end, you guys did, came up with something new. It was so-called COVID inspired in a way.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't say it was COVID inspired, but definitely we realized that we want to be the, I think traditional banks are good for traditional businesses and
Things.
companies, but we want to be the champion for those, new digital companies, for those new digital entrepreneurs, and that's why we are building solutions that serve those type of companies.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Adam? Like, did you find, the way that Osome went in 2020, did you find that it was also shaped as well or changed in a way? I mean, you've always been digital anyway, so.
Yeah, so on our end, how we are right now is not, I wouldn't say it's COVID inspired, but it was through COVID that we realized that, hey, how we actually started in the right direction, being online since day one, right? And going back also to the point about why digital solutions, why solutions like ours, regardless of Osome, Aspire, HReasily, I think it's also expectations of the new entrepreneurs, right? They expect everything to be, in the palm of their hands, right? Say, for example, with a traditional service provider, you don't get insights into your financials, right? But because Aspire, for example, is, with Zero, right? So integrated with Zero, and Zero is integrated with our platform as well. And so, HReasily as well, right? So basically, you can see everything under one roof, right? Under one app. So you don't have to go anywhere else. And that speed of, being able to look at everything, having a dashboard, a summary of how your business is doing, I think that is really very helpful. And I think it helps businesses also be very agile, as you mentioned, right? Agility is important as well. So, but for us, well, there wasn't any real pivot because of COVID, but we kind of more doubled down and like, hey, yes, this is the right way to go. Let's just full steam ahead. So yeah.
You got more sure of yourself, like you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, right? It's everyone, as Jacob says, at home. And nowadays we don't even want to go out anymore to eat, right? Food is delivered to the home and all that. And so, Louis, right? When I think of payroll, for some reason, I still think of the physical payment of money on payday. So what about HR, right? I feel like, why have businesses decided to move digital?
I think, well, there's two sides of it. There's the very obvious side where, most businesses will spend, if they're on a very traditional, Excel or very legacy kind of based software, they spend maybe minimum like 5 hours a month just to calculate payroll, perform payments, perform file submissions to regulatory authorities. And that's just payroll alone, right? That's not counting, okay, actually going through different types of expense claims, collating expense receipts, managing leave, or, having more transparency on time attendance. Maybe you trying to catch your salesperson, having a bit of coffee on the side on the job, right? So I mean, like it's, those are very obvious reasons just to really help to automate and increase efficiency, as well as, save time, especially for business owners who are new. Maybe they're not very familiar with, managing a team and all the different types of regulatory, regulations around, running payroll for them or managing leave, who's entitled to what. So this is where HR software can come in. And I think also second part is, I think a lot of theme here, between three of us here is that, what we do is we not only streamline your workflows, we actually enhance, some of the other things that other admin or representative of the company can do. You enhance kind of the human touch as well. So, for example, like I said, with the HR payroll software during this period of time, it actually freed up a lot of time for, HR personnel to actually look after their workforce, make sure that mental health is good, try and help them to upskill in this kind of digital work from home age. So it's digitalization really has, not really taken away jobs, not taken away anything. It's actually enhanced everybody's position and actually allowed them to do things that maybe they wouldn't really do maybe 20 years ago. A HR admin 20 years ago wouldn't really care so much about, upskilling the workers as much as they are to make sure that they're doing the payroll correctly and avoid getting a fine.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have more time for more things. right? Because we're not bogged down with like what Adam said, right? Going to get a printer, blah blah blah. Now we have time to look at other things as well.
Focus on, you know, the important stuff, right? You know,
Yeah.
not the noise. That's the main thing about digitalization.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely, I guess with adversity we come, you know, innovation comes with it, you know, silver lining around every cloud. Yeah, in that sense.
Yeah.
So let's just jump quick. So are we've done with the polls already, I think, and I think the results are already in, right? And yeah, so the question was, how many of you have thought of or are in the process of starting a business in Singapore? So we have really good good result, right? So we have, I think, more than half are starting now or are thinking or but haven't yet started. So I hope so far we have had some, you know, interesting messaging that you guys could use to take away and start your own business, like act on it. I think 2021 is a good year. It's looking good so far. So yeah, okay. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about 2020 and you know, the lessons that we have learned from it and how we've grown from it. So now we're now in 2021, right? What do you guys foresee for the upcoming year? So let's start with, you know, Adam. What's up and coming for Osome in 2021?
Well, in 2021, right? I mean, technology is one thing, right? But we don't want to lose that user experience as well, right? Because we believe that, again, you know, I think also Luis has covered that, you know, technology is just to augment what we do, right? Is to really help, you know, what we do, and so you can focus on the right thing. And for us, we want to use technology to automate whatever process that we can, so that, as I mentioned earlier during my introduction, you know, so that my colleagues, right, can really provide, you know, a great user experience to our clients, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that we are really focusing on in 2021. Besides, you know, obviously the automation part, the technology part will still continue to grow.
Yeah.
And we're looking to automate even more processes and also to offer even you know, more parts of it that will help not just, you know, any business, but also probably e-commerce businesses, you know, and things like that to kind of help them. So that's
Would this be like the bot? Would this be like the bot that will help you in the middle of the night? You'll be enhancing that kind of thing.
Well, it won't be like, hey Google or hi Siri or something like that, but I mean, we all hope to get there. But yeah, it's definitely going to be something that's yeah, it's definitely going to be something very, very helpful, right? To kind of cut all the unnecessary paperwork or processes, you know. And speaking of paperwork, right? We all talk a lot about sustainability, right? So recently, I actually went to do some research about how much paper we saved, actually. I mean, because we are all digital, blah, blah, and then there's always been sustainability, and then, you know, Davos 2021 in Singapore, right? So we actually realized that since for the past 1 year, we actually have saved more than 3 million pieces of paper. And if you put end to end, it might reach Jacob wherever he is right now. and we actually could have weighed 17 tons of paper. So, you know, yeah,
you're saving trees. You're saving trees.
And saving trees, yes. And so,
and
you
dolphins.
Know, maybe good chance, yes, we're probably saving everything in the world right now. So not just about, you know, improving the technology, but also, you know, improving user experience. But also, of course, you know, a bit on sustainability as well there. So I think that's the message that we're trying to, you know, send across in 2021, and that's what our focus will be on.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's you know, really all rounded. Yeah, that's what we all aim to be at this point, right? Whether it's plastic bags and our daily lives and all that. And indeed, also in work, is great to hear that you're also on the sustainability bandwagon. And yeah, what about you, Jacob, in Aspire, right? Are you guys also looking to be saving the dolphins?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting point that Adam raised, and I think it's a byproduct, right? It's clearly a byproduct. I'm not sure we have made like this calculation ourselves, but I just know that every time I go to my bank, actually back home, right, where and I go only home to Italy in that case, like once a year, usually once a year I need to go to the bank and I need to sign new documents, right, and I always walk out with a big pile of paper, right, like a lot
Yeah.
of documents that obviously nobody ever read, but I never read, right, because it's too much. And yeah, same, right? Being a neobank, we are completely paper free as well. So I think that's a nice byproduct of the whole development and what we're doing as well as a company. I think all of us, yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
us as Aspire in 21, what we want to do is, I think I touched on it before, but like I think for now, right, we sort of try to create a banking experience that was just maybe more seamless, easier, faster, cheaper. But now we really want to focus on creating additional value, additional features that will set us apart from traditional banks. And we've just launched, for example, a expense multi-card expense management solution. So as a company, you can create like different cards for different employees. You can set some spending limits, and this basically eliminates manual paper expensing for companies. We're launching other features such as invoice management tools, like features that basically make the life easier for modern entrepreneurs and digital companies, and features that are not actually offered by traditional banks. And this is a little bit the route that we want to go into. We want to create more and more value, and ultimately just make everything more efficient, save money and save time for SMEs and digital companies.
For the busy entrepreneur. Do you think also, I mean, with the approval of the 4 digital banks in Singapore last year in December, do you think that the road will be easier for you now when you're in launching new products and new ideas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely right. I mean, it's on the two sides, right? Obviously, it's great that there's now 4 digital bank licenses. This also means, obviously, for us, there's going to be more competition and serious competition, right? Because those are big players. But I think competition in general is a positive thing that is ultimately going to create value for the end user. And obviously this is a first step towards building Singapore as a big basically hub for fintech in general and for digital banking. And yeah, I think we as a company we're quite positive, and we think that we had a little bit of a head start, and we are able to to customize solutions, and we believe that this we are actually already achieving some sort of loyalty, and it's not going to be that easy to replicate that even for bigger players.
That's true. I mean, nothing beats like the personal touch, right? It's like what Adam said. That's why we all fight to create the user journey, and and that personalized experience as well. And so what about HR, Louis? What is 2021 shaping up to be? Anything new?
Well, yeah, definitely. We're always looking, like the other two just now said, looking for a much more intuitive user interface. So we're working on something new that a lot of our customers can look forward to later this year. We just recently released a new module for scheduling. But I think also there'll be, as much as we love Singapore, there'll be definitely a concerted effort to look at other markets as well for the abroad. Unlike here in Singapore, we're so mature, and you have a government that's giving a lot of tailwind to the digitalization. There's also a lot of other countries out there who are not so mature, where the momentum can really pick up. So that's something that I think we can also look forward to in 2021.
Yeah. Like when you said what kinds of which countries, and did any in particular?
I think not necessarily talking about expansion. It's more of a maybe more considered focuses. Malaysia, Indonesia is always a really great place to look at. With the number of SMEs they have, Thailand. So we'll go from there. Yeah, and but on a personal note, maybe GameStop to the moon. Jokes. Don't buy GameStop, guys. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they say it's a conspiracy or something now about it? Everything is changing every day.
Whatever it may be, yeah. But
we should not make any prediction for 21. We should just try to survive somehow.
Honestly, I really agree with you, Jacob. Like this year,
it's gonna be anyway. It was up to like it's only February. What is it, like 4th of February? And there's already like a lot of things that happen.
Absolutely.
So
That's
I
true.
think everyone was like expecting 21 to become, a lot more relaxed compared to a lot more like normal to compared to 2020.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm not too sure, right? So
I'm trying to get my head around January, really.
Yeah, don't plan too much. Right? Don't plan too much. But we're definitely in for a good ride, I think.
Yeah, I think so far it's been quite, you would have thought, right, that we would have gotten used to these changes and up and down, but we're just constantly living with like pumped up adrenaline. And yeah, every week is something new.
Yeah, I think it really ties in, right? With these very chaotic times, to be able to implement and use solutions that can keep you agile, is really paramount, right? And it's not just for business. I mean, basically all consumers now are online, and they're able to do what they want. So for businesses, why would you not do the same as what your consumers are doing? That's exactly what it is, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's supply and demand, right? Right. So I just want to announce that we're doing question and answer in 2 minutes, right, or so I just wanted to ask, for all three of you, I mean, since we're almost out of time, do you have a key piece of advice to our listeners? We have about 60% of them who want to open up a business in Singapore, thinking of or are in the process of. Do you have a key piece of advice? Let's go, Adam.
Right. Well, I would say that there's never a perfect time to do so. It is always a good time to start a business. And I think even more so now than ever, because there's a lot of resources available online, right? I mean, just look at us, we're just talking about it. So make use of those resources. Make use of the opportunity, as you mentioned, there will always going to be opportunities in such times, right? So I think, it's always a good time to start, and always try and go look for something that is really easy and convenient for you, because it's all available now. Just look around and you'll be able to find it very easily.
Yeah, I mean, basically every day, it's always a good time. Just start it now, basically. Yes, from the bedroom, like the 18-year-old. What about you, Jacob? Like, do you have any key piece of advice?
Yeah, I think it's relatively similar to what Adam said, right? I think start small. I think initially important to keep the costs at a minimum. So use all of these free tools that you can, and maybe at the beginning just really try to get a little bit of a proof of concept. And then once you have that, obviously you should definitely incorporate with Osome, open an account with Aspire, right? And just I think in general, just like try to be as efficient as possible. And I think also something interesting that Singapore is really good at, there's a lot of, I think the government is very supportive, so there's a lot of grants, there's a lot of there's a lot of free things you can get as a young entrepreneur. So as Adam said, like it's probably it's a pretty good time to start something, and
to just start, and basically you're saying to just look out.
Yeah, and it always depends what you do, right? But I think maybe one thing is that I think it's reasonable to keep COVID, like keep the new situation we are in, take it into consideration, right? Like maybe something that was a good business pre-COVID, might not work anymore. I think it's really something to consider, that there was a bit of a change in life in general, and even after COVID, I think we're not going to go back to where we were before, but I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to stay, and I think it's also good to keep those into consideration whenever you're launching a new business.
Yeah, great tips. And Lewis, last but not least, do you have, in 30 seconds, because we have to get to these questions, do you have any key tips for anyone wanting to I guess, start a business and increase a headcount in Singapore?
Well, yeah, I think definitely be focused. Try to make your business as efficient as possible so you can actually focus on growing your business and actually gaining traction and revenue. Take advantage of all the tools that you have here in Singapore. It's very much the same. I think also another thing is, maybe if you have a team, then definitely take a special care of them. Make sure that they're doing well, mentally, that you're upscaling them, and because basically they are one of your most, if not your most important resource. Without your team, you can't really scale very well.
Yeah, your business is your tool. So, okay, well, let's just get quickly to all the questions. So Supernova has a question. My company uses an old people management system because cloud system seems quite prone to security breaches and possible data infiltration. Would you agree? I think this is open to the floor.
I'll just quickly.
Jacob, anyone?
I think I don't particularly agree. I think, a lot of companies, cloud software is more secure than ever. If the Pentagon can use Microsoft Cloud, then, I'm pretty sure that is, the cloud software is going in the right direction. So that's my take. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, so next one we have, this is for you, Jacob. So the company is currently in the process of making everything digital, but this person's boss doesn't believe in using digital banking. Is there any advice you can give?
Yeah, I mean, I think, maybe for people who are a little bit skeptical, I think it's perfectly reasonable, and it's also understandable, because it's a very traditional industry, and there's money at stake, and you need to think this through. I think, one of the things for us, for example, as a company, we see that, not every company is completely moving over to like a digital bank, but I think there's also a lot of companies that might use us as a secondary account, open account, just try to do a few business functions and operations with us, like FX, because you have lower fees, or spending on card because you get some cash back, and then slowly potentially you could migrate more over, if you see that you actually like it. So I would say maybe just convince your boss to try us out. Otherwise, you should send him my way, and I can try to convince him.
Yes, that's great advice. So start small, or else send him to Jacob.
Yeah, send him. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, we have your email address and stuff, so we can, you can get in touch.
I can type it, actually.
Oh, you can. Yes. Oh, can you? So if you just put, that's his direct contact. Okay, so meanwhile, while we are doing this, so we're going to do the next question, also from Supernova. So 2020 is an interesting year, and to be honest, a lot of businesses have been affected. Would you still suggest to set up a business now, Adam?
Yeah, so I think this is pretty similar to another question, which is like, they got a business idea, but they're afraid because they don't know how to properly set them up. So I think, yes, 2020 and now 2021 are probably going to be years that a lot of uncertainty, right? And as I said, there's never a perfect time to start a business, right? It's always a good time. But I think most importantly is that it really depends on what kind of business you're looking to set up. based on the number of years that I've been in this industry, I've seen really very even traditional businesses thriving, right? Surviving. And all you do is just pivot a bit here and there. And there's always a piece of the pie for everyone, right? But of course, if you're looking to say, hey, I wanna be the biggest company in the world, or I want to be the richest person in the world, then of course, what you start will then probably matter a bit more. But otherwise, it's really always a good time to start a business, right? And especially in these times, as I mentioned earlier as well in my wrap up, like there's always opportunities in crisis, right? There's a Chinese saying that says that. So I think this is a really good time to do it, and I think it is especially during times like that I think innovation is important, right? And so if you have an innovative idea, why not do it, right? But if you're not sure, then I suggest the best thing to do is probably to speak to the people around you. Unfortunately, we don't provide in a sense business consultants, in a sense that, hey, I have this idea, how should I go about it, right? But we can definitely tell you how you can set up here in Singapore, and the structure that would be best for your use case. So that's the answer to the question.
So basically, it is a good time, but also depends on what kind of business you're going to set up, right? But also, I guess attending webinars like this might help to give you more perspective, and just really doing research and getting some market feel as well. So let's just quickly move on, because we have quite a few questions. What is the difference between Aspire and traditional banks? So Jacob, if we could just fire off quickly, we don't have much time.
Very quickly, we don't have any, we're just like purely online, and I think I already mentioned a few things, right? It's very easy to set up. It's absolutely for free. We have lower fees, and we have a lot of very interesting features which are tailored to the like digital companies. So ideally also head over to our website and maybe check us out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have all the collateral, right, which we'll send to all you attendees after this. And that goes to, and then, so there's another question here. I personally think it's expensive to change the HRM system into an online one. How would you justify the cost? Very quickly, Louis.
I think, very quickly to justify the cost. Okay, so I think you look at it in the long run, and you look at how it can really upskill your employees and also make your HR team a little more efficient. But then again, it really depends on what stage of business you are, right? Are you a business owner by yourself? Then really it's a no-brainer. If you're a large business, then yeah, definitely you have to take a lot of factors into consideration. So, but it's never a bad choice. You can always kind of have a chat about it.
Yeah, and I guess if you're based in Singapore, you could use the grants, right? You mentioned just now during our chat, like the government support and opportunities like that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So as long as you're below 200 employees, you'll be fine.
Yes, T's and C's, apply. Okay, thank you very much. So we have a quite interesting question here. This goes to Jacob. What's your view on mobile wallet versus mobile bank? Do you think mobile bank will eventually take over the mobile wallet in future?
I think I think it's a bit different use cases, right? Because the wallet is like a payment method, while the bank maybe has a lot of other features. Honestly, I think in overall there's definitely like more and more integration of all different players, and I think that's definitely what's about to come is that tech firms are basically becoming banks, right? Like like Grab, and I think
Grab, yeah,
definitely we will not only see that there is going to be a there's going to be the like wallet versus banks, but I think that the bank is every bank is going to become some sort of super app. And obviously right now you can already start with like insurance, but there's going to be e-commerce and communication and transportation. And I think everything is just somehow going to be coming together in the future. So and obviously the bank is where you hold and keep and spend your money. So it's sort of like a starting point for a lot of other applications. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I
yeah.
like the question of Patrick.
Yes. We have a
Although
big
it's not a
supporter with
question,
Patrick.
yeah. I think I answered, yeah. There was one more question that I answered, and then I realized it went away, and that was someone asking for a promo code on
Promo
Aspire.
code.
Maybe just
Yes.
here, head on our website. We're right now having this e-hong bao promotion, so red pocket promotion. Everyone who opens an account and transfers money in February is actually getting a I would say pretty significant e-hong bao, so a cash gift voucher up to $2,888.
Wow.
So
Yep.
it's yeah, it's a pretty good time as well to open an Aspire account.
It's always a good time. So just for everyone who's listening, the link is aspireapp.com /CNYE Hongbao 2021 for everyone who wants to get up to 2,888, right? In credit.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you everyone today for attending, and especially to our panel here. Thank you for your time. I hope everyone had some interesting messages to take away from this. Yeah, and tune in to our next upcoming webinars as well in the future. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Everyone, and have a great evening.
Have a great
Yes,
evening. Yeah.
Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.